بسم الله الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه أما بعد. يقول الله تبارك وتعالى بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم: سواء منكم من أسر القول ومن جهر به ومن هو مستخف بالليل وسارب بالنهار له معقبات من بين يديه ومن خلفه يحفظونه من أمر الله إن الله لا يغير ما بقوم حتى يغيروا ما بأنفسهم وإذا أراد الله بقوم سوءا فلا مرد له وما لهم من دونه من وال. وقال عليه الصلاة والسلام: لا تنظر إلى صغر الذنب وانظر إلى عظم من عصيت. قال عليه الصلاة والسلام: اتق الله تكن أعبد الناس، أو كما قال عليه الصلاة والسلام. My respective viewers, this is just a reflection that perhaps many people have come to conclusion before I. It is Allah who gives the ability for the human being to think, contemplate, and to actualize any good pursuit they have. SubhanAllah, as we've seen, I'm sure, on numerous occasions, there are videos now that are specifically directed and designed and compiled to show the inconsistencies of people's beliefs, their ideals, their values. And I'm not necessarily referring to all those that may fit in this category, such as politicians who may make empty promises, but really in the sphere of da'wah and Islam, it's very alarming to see that a person, by the click of a finger, can now find what someone had asserted some years ago, and when they make an error and they retract, now you have the evidence there. So the reflection that he came to was not to fear the spying of people or the kind of interrogation of their past statements, but subhanAllah, imagine how embarrassed that person feels. May Allah save us. May I ask Allah as-sittir an yastur uyubana. As the Prophet used to pray, Allahumma astur awrati wa amir ru'ati. Oh Allah, conceal my blemishes. And the Prophet ﷺ is afdal khalq, the best of Allah's creation, but to teach us, and I believe this dua was supplicated in the battle of the Ahzab. Oh Allah, conceal my blemishes, anything that will bring me shame, and save me from what I fear. So anyhow, we ask Allah to conceal our faults, but as we know, not every fault is meant to be concealed, especially if it's in the public sphere and it has to do with the deen of Allah. Then the ulama, have done for the last 15 centuries plus. And now in the wave of the internet and technology and mobile devices has become a big tool for that. However, coming back to the point, that person gets embarrassed when somebody finds that they said the polar opposite. And who knows what their intention was. Was it to please Allah once and then that intention changed? Or maybe out of ignorance later, Allah took that knowledge away from them. As Abdullah ibn Mas'ud, he said, that I see that a man who forgot a knowledge that he used to know come from the consequence of a sin that he did. So that is also possible. You can't bank on the ilm that you have for the rest of your life. It's not like if somebody just finished a university degree, graduate degree, certificate, and khalas, they're just for the rest of their life certified. But in the deen of Allah, it's not the saying in the deen, but as the saying goes, you either get better or you get worse, you never stay the same. So coming full circle, I was just reflecting, seeing these videos, not to say I'm infallible, but of luminary, well-known scholars. And I just reflected, like, subhanAllah, if all this information and quotes and acts and appearances is present on the internet, then what about in the register of our sahifa of good or bad deeds? And the way people feel shy in this dunya, let's say somebody's in a courtroom. It could be a county court, it could be, criminal or, civil or whatever other court, but they know the clerk is writing everything they say. They're recorded on maybe Zoom or whatever. They're going to be very cautious what they say. But you can take it a step further. Let's say the media, somebody who's with local news is recording you. You're going to be very careful what you say. Take it a step further, national news. If it's like, CNN, MSNBC, I'm not giving endorsements, but this is the major news channels. PBS, that person's going to be very careful. They might not even talk. Now, international, what if you're on BBC or Al Jazeera? I'm going to be very careful. But the whole point is, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows everything. As the ayah was read in the beginning, Allah, He says, it is the same amongst you. Whoever says a statement in secret or in public, aloud, or he hides in the darkness of the night, or he doesn't act in the brightness of the day. Allah knows everything, subhanahu wa ta'ala, and He has made as proof of His justice to the human being, the angels that record everything we do, right? مَا يَلْفِظُ مِنْ قَوْلٍ إِلَّا لَدَيْهِ رَقِيبٌ عَتِيدٌ. No utterance, it's a lafz is different than a word in Arabic. Kalima is a word, as Imriti, he says, كلامهم لفظ مفيد مسند والكلمة اللفظ المفيد المفرد لاسم وفعل ثم حرف تنقسم وهذه ثلاث هي الكلمة واللفظ قول قد أفاد مطلقا كقم وقد وإن زيدا ارتقى. Lafz is something audible, right? So anything that's audible, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He mentioned the angels record it. إِلَّا لَدَيْهِ رَقِيبٌ عَتِيدٌ. And then Allah says, وَإِنَّ عَلَيْكُمْ لَحَافِظِينَ كِرَامًا كَاتِبِينَ يَعْلَمُونَ مَا تَفْعَلُونَ. Allah said, upon you is the two angels. Their name, some scholars say, is not Kiraman Katibin, their descriptions. They know what you do. So the thing is, subhanAllah, on the Day of Judgment, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions, وَوُضِعَ الْكِتَابِ, the book of the person will be placed in front of them, and فَتَرَى الْمُجْرِمِينَ مُشْفِقِينَ مِمَّا فِيهِ. The criminals, the wrongdoers will be afraid of what is in that book. It's like the example in this world. Somebody knows they're guilty and they're going into a court, they're not going to feel comfortable. Or if they have a major exam and they didn't study, they're not going to go in confident. So to Allah belongs the best example. But they were afraid of what is inside this book. مشفقين مما فيه يقولون يا ويلتنا ما لهذا الكتاب لا يغادر صغيرة ولا كبيرة إلا أحصاها. That they said, what an incredible book this is. It does not leave a minor or major sin. Allah in this verse, He put the minor before the major sin. And that's why Fudayl ibn Iyad rahimahullah, he said that ضَجُّوا إِلَى اللَّهِ الصَّغَائِرِ قَبْلَ الْكَبَائِرِ. What an amazing verse. We know many of the hadith or ayat that talk about the punishment for major sins. But he said, to Allah goes the minor sin before the major. Because he put the minor before the major in the ayah. Sometimes people don't take minor sin seriously, or some might not even take major or minor seriously. But in that book, it will have everything. Allah, He said that لا يغادر صغيرة ولا كبيرة إلا أحصاها, except it perfectly recorded it. ووجدوا ما عملوا حاضرا. People will find what they did in this world present on that register on the Day of Judgment. ولا يظلم ربك حتى. And your Lord doesn't your Lord does not oppress or wrong anyone. And that's when the person, when his own limbs will be witness against him on the Day of Judgment, he will tell him, ويحك إنما لأجلك كنت أدافع, كما قال. If I'm not mistaken, the hadith of the Prophet, he will tell his limbs when they start testifying against him, ويوم يحشر أعداء الله إلى النار فهم يوزعون. When the enemies of Allah will be resurrected in droves to the fire, Allah, He says, حتى إذا جاءوها شهد عليهم سمعهم وأبصارهم وجلودهم بما كانوا يعملون. Their hearing, their seeing, and their skin will witness against them. وقالوا لجلودهم لما شهدتم علينا. They will tell their limbs, why are you testifying against us? قالوا أنطقنا الله الذي أنطق كل شيء. They said this because Allah gave us the ability to talk. He can make anything talk. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He says that يوم تشهد عليهم ألسنتهم وأيديهم وأرجلهم بما كانوا يعملون يومئذ يوفيهم الله دينهم الحق ويعلمون أن الله الحق المبين. The day that their tongues and their hearing, ألسنتهم وأيديهم, their hands, وأرجلهم, and their legs will will give witness upon them for what they did. That Allah, He says, that day He will recompense them fully. Deen. In this verse, the scholar said, Deen refers to their actions. The essence of Deen is action. And then Allah, when the person will not accept the witness except his own self, and Allah will not let him talk, He will say, اقرأ كتابك كفى بنفسك اليوم عليك حسيبا. He will be chained like this, and then Allah will say, read your book, you are a sufficient witness against yourself today. So I'm the one that needs this the most, but I just was saying, instead of fearing what people see or hear of us, wallahi, if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is pleased with us, that's all we need. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept from us, and may Allah make this pleasing to Him. Subhanakallah wa bihamdihi, ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta, astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk.